Hi, I'm Hank with imapex, here to introduce you to ioxduino. So what is ioxduino? Well, it's right here, and it's a proof of concept project we've put together to illustrate how you can leverage the Cisco IOX platform that runs on our hardened routers like this 819 device, but many other devices, with an open source microcontroller project like the Arduino shown here. Now, why would we want to do something like this? Well, with the Arduino, there are so many different IoT-style projects you can do with devices like sensors for motion detection or infrared. We've got temperature sensors, or manipulate the outside world with motors like this servo motor. Now, the Arduino is fantastic. It's excellent for connecting with these different devices, but where it starts to fall apart is how do we actually do extensive processing on the data, or programming, or even connect to the outside world from locations where you may be just trying to process or place some information at a stoplights, cafe machines, Coke machines, ATM devices, smart grid devices. And that's where the IOX router comes in. The IOX router gives us the connectivity necessary through 4G LTE or Ethernet or any other type of network device or connectivity you might need, but also gives us the fog computing capability so we can run code directly on the platform and control it in a very easy to develop for platform that's out there. So what is ioxduino exactly? With ioxduino, we break down the basics of how do you write the code, both for the Arduino microcontroller as well as the IOX device, and then how do you actually integrate the hardware using the serial interfaces on the IOX router off to the serial connectivity for an Arduino project. Let's take a look at how this works. So here we have the proof of concept developers kind of setup that I've used to develop the ioxduino application with a basic setup. So what we have is we've got the Arduino microcontroller here, which is linked off to just a really basic button and LED light. So if I press the button, the light comes on. If I turn it off, it goes off. The button simulates the activity such as any kind of a sensor that might be active. So these could be temperature, light sensors, motion detectors, pressure sensors, just anything. But in this case for ioxduino, we just focus on a really basic button push. From there, the Arduino is connected through the serial cable that goes into the 819 router here, and we can see that the blue smart serial connection off to a DB25, and then I'm using this breakout board here to gain access to the pin so that we can actually connect the serial interfaces together. And what happens is every time that we fire off an alert with this button, we send a communication across the serial interface to the IOX router, which logs that the alert has taken place. Now in ioxduino, it's just proof of concept code. All we do is log the alert. But you could take any other type of action for that. You could process it, you could roll it up, you could send notifications farther, you could take actions on it. Now, let's actually take a look at some of the code and the activity that happens that we process out of ioxduino.
Okay, I've now switched over here to my laptop interface so we can take a look at ioxduino running on the device. So a quick command using IOX client, we'll do an app list and show that we have ioxduino running on the device. Now, with ioxduino, it's built to provide details on the alerts through a REST interface, so we'll just do a quick curl command at the router, which is running on this IP address. And ioxduino listens on port 6000. I'm going to go ahead and pipe that detail off to the Python JSON tool so that it gives us a little more legible information. And we can see here we've got all of the alerts that have been received. The next thing I want to show is we can actually console into ioxduino and watch what it's doing. So if I go IOX client, console, or app, console, ioxduino, this will connect into the IOX device, connect directly into the running container for this, and we can take a look at it. And now over here on the side, I'm going to go ahead and press the button on the Arduino device to simulate the alerts, and we can see that it's noticing that there's incoming data being found. So each time I press the button to simulate an alert, data comes through, and if we take a look and we rerun the curl command, we'll see that we have additional alerts that have been now received, so we've got more than we had before. And that's the basics of ioxduino. Not terribly complicated, doesn't do terribly interesting pieces. What's important about ioxduino is showing how we actually integrate the outside world of the Arduino to an IOX device or IOX application running on the router. Thanks very much.